What's all this?
It's my treat.
Oh, I normally just have a piece of toast for breakfast.
Well, I thought I'd make something different. Anyway, I've been up early with Alice.
You mean you fed the baby as well this morning?
Well, it's Elsa's turn, really. But I didn't want to wake her. She didn't get back well late. Can't blame her for sleeping in, mind. You seen this book she's been set? Strain myself lifting it, let alone reading it.
Morning.
Yours is in the oven.
Oh, thanks. Nick's been showing me that book you're doing for evening class. Good read, is it?
I haven't got too far into it yet.
Right, well, I'll be off. See you two later. See you, Alice.
Look, Kathy, if you've got something to say, why don't you just come straight out and say it?
All right, then, I will. Are you having an affair, Elsa?
Frank, the bank have just been on.
No problem, is there? Surely not with your cheque.
Just to confirm our credit facilities can be maintained.
Thanks to our fairy godmother.
And what would you have done if she hadn't come riding along?
I wouldn't be wearing this stupid grin for a start.
So what would you be doing?
Eh?
How would you have paid the inland revenue?
Kim, is something the matter?
Yesterday, Chris hinted at some deal you were thinking of to get us out of trouble.
What deal?
Well, he wouldn't say any more. He's like you, Frank. Clams up tighter than a Trappist monk when he wants to. So I thought I'd ask you what it was about instead.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, did you have some deal in mind before you got my cheque? Something I wouldn't want to know about?
No.
Well, how did Chris get that impression?
I don't know. Maybe he got the wrong end of the stick. Maybe he misunderstood something I said.
So you mean you said, if things go on like this, I'll have to rob a bank? And he took you seriously?
Yeah, something like it. I wouldn't worry about it.
Frank.
I've got a rush.
Frank!
See you.
Just get off my back, Kathy, OK?
You haven't answered my question yet.
Because I don't know how you can even think something like that.
You should have stood where I was stood last night.
So I was having a quiet drink with a girlfriend. What's wrong with that?
If there's nothing wrong with it, why not tell Nick about it?
Because Nick's like you, he wouldn't understand.
No, what he wouldn't understand is you pretending to do one thing last night, then doing another.
I keep telling you I wasn't doing anything wrong last night.
So why act as if you were? Elsa, this is the 1990s, not the 1890s. You want a night out with a girlfriend? Nick isn't going to play the heavy husband, you know.
No.
But think about it. If he hears you've been in a pub in Houghton when he thinks you're in the middle of the old curiosity shop...
Little Doris.
Or whatever, what's he going to think? He'll think the same thing I first thought. She's up to something behind my back.
All right, Kathy.
So you'll tell him what you're actually doing when he thinks you're going to your evening class. Before someone else sees you and tells him.
Yes. Yes, I'll tell him.
Chris?
I thought this fuel line had been fixed.
I want a word with you.
That mechanic said we'll have no more trouble with it.
Chris, will
Why
you listen
can't
to me?
people actually mean what they say?
Well, funnily enough, that's exactly the question that occurred to me a few minutes ago when I was talking to Kim.
What?
You and I discussed a certain business deal. It was a silly idea and we called it off. We agreed never to talk about it again. Now I find you've been discussing it with Kim.
I didn't discuss it with Kim. Not really, anyway. I just made an unfortunate remark and she picked it up.
Go on.
I was so relieved when we got her cheque. I thought, terrific. Now there's no need for any wild scams. And it just sort of slipped out.
And that's all?
That's all. I promise you, Dad.
All right. For God's sake, be careful in future.
I will.
Just had one crisis at work. Last thing we need is more trouble at home.
There's a lot of fuss, this chicken...
Calvados, Ma. Chicken Calvados. Here, have a smell.
Oh! And you put that in the sauce?
Yes, to flame the meat.
Oh, to do what?
To flame the meat. It leaves a delicious taste of apple afterwards.
Well, like I said, it's a lot of trouble.
Well, Henry stepped in the breach last night with his liver and onions. Only right that I should do something tonight.
What I mean is, I'm sure chicken casserole would have been just as good.
Call it my treat.
Blimey. Looks like World War III's been declared in here.
It's Joe's treat.
What do? Eat it or paper the walls with it?
Join us tonight and find out.
Eh?
Yeah, and Sarah, and bring Rob as well if you like.
Well, there's plenty of it.
Well, Henry got the quantities wrong. I wanted to make sure.
There's enough here to feed an army.
Well, Robert's going to with friends for tea tonight, but... Yeah, OK, Joe. Thanks, we will join you.
All right. Give you something to think about when you're shearing this afternoon.
I thought you were shearing this afternoon.
As well as cooking your evening meal. I've only got one pair of hands, you know.
This is not how I imagined life as a licensed victualler, Henry.
Alan, I've just dropped in
Standing
because...
behind an oak bar, exchanging merry quips with like-minded individuals, reviving the dying art of conversation.
Yes, Alan, it's
That's
only
how
about-
I saw it. But instead, it's all pumping boxes of crisps and cleaning pump pipes.
I hope you're not so busy that you've forgotten the twinning meeting tonight.
What? Oh, no, of course not.
I'm reminding everybody. It's important we get a good turnout if we're going to get this thing off the ground, you know.
Yeah, well, I've been dreaming about nothing else all morning. You know, Beckendale twinned with beer-swilling continentals.
Well, I can't guarantee you that. So, 8 o'clock up at Emmerdale, right?
I don't think there'll be much happening up there tonight, Henry. Not with the trouble.
What trouble?
Up at Emmerdale.
There isn't any trouble up at Emmerdale.
There will be, Henry, when they've seen this.
Bye. I don't believe it.
What?
It was actually right for once.
What was?
My horoscope. Today will be your day for close family contacts. Just put the phone down from Nick and you come walking in.
Why, has Nick got some problem?
No, I just wondered if I could babysit tonight so he can take Elsa out for a drink.
Oh.
Trouble is, Alan's got that town twinning committee meeting, so I've got to work.
You could always get someone in to cover for you.
No, Sarah's tied up with us shearing all week at Emmerdale.
There's always me.
Eh?
That's what I came round for, actually. See if there's any chance of a job behind the bar.
Look, love, if you need a bit of financial help...
Oh, Mum, I need the company.
Ah.
It's not been that bad this past week or so. I've had the fete to think about, and organising that's taken up most of my evenings.
But now that's finished, you've got nothing to do but sit and brood.
Yeah, something like that.
It's not exactly a barrel of laughs working here, you know, love. Listening to Seth's stories for the umpteenth time and trying to raise a smile at some of Eric Pollard's comments.
Yeah, but it's still company, though, isn't it? Getting out, talking to different people.
Yeah. I'll have a word with Alan, see what he says. Actually, if he's agreeable and you could start tonight, maybe I could babysit for Nick and Elsa after all.
Yes, well, I wouldn't worry that much about those two.
Well, Nick sounded worried. He reckons Elsa really needs a night out with all this studying she's been doing. Here. Oh, Alan, the very man we want to see.
Have you seen this?
Oh, I've shown Kathy the horoscope, if that's what you mean.
No, not the horoscope. Ah, this article here.
So this is the sauce for the chicken?
Right. This is the ratatouille.
And you're making dauphinoise potatoes?
That's right. But it's a Calvados that makes it. Do you know, I'm sure after tonight's meal, I can get you back eating meat again.
What, you mean I'll get that drunk on the sauce I won't realise what I'm doing? No chance.
You should be all right, though, with just ratatouille.
Yeah, I'll make something to go with it.
I still don't see what's wrong with a good old-fashioned roast and 2 plain veg.
I heard that.
Oh, come on, Annie. Change your diet's good for you every now and again. Hey, come and have a look at this lot, you two.
Joe's dish of the day. Some French concoction.
Just the thing to inspire the town twinning committee, eh, Henry?
Yes, well, I don't want to spoil anybody's appetite. And I thought I'd best be the one to show you this. I'm very sorry, Rachel. Somebody's bound to tell you. Might as well be somebody who didn't mean you any harm.
What are you talking about, Mr. Wills?
There's another one of those articles in there, Rachel. About you.
Heartbreak girl finds happiness at last.
Oh, why can't they leave the poor kid alone?
Blonde stunner finally finds her Mr. Right.
Who on earth do they imagine is interested anyway?
It has not taken long for shapely Rachel Hughes, 19, to find a new playmate down on the farm.
Alan.
Is Rachel really 19? She hardly looks it.
Alan.
She's packed a great deal into her short life, hasn't she?
Alan, Kathy's come round to see if there's any jobs going.
What?
Bar work.
Oh, I don't know, Kathy. I don't think the business really warrants taking on extra staff just now.
Oh, come on, Alan. We've been very busy lately.
Well, fairly busy.
We've been rushed off our feet. You've been complaining all morning about all the restocking you've got to do.
Yes, but we did have a few quiet periods while we went over to Skipdale's, if you remember. No, I'm sorry, Kathy. I really don't think I can afford the luxury of paying extra bar staff just now.
Actually, it wasn't the wages I was really interested in.
What?
Kathy?
Well, like I was telling Mum, I'd be more interested in doing it for the company. To tell you the truth, I'd almost be willing to do it for nothing.
Oh. Well, on second thoughts, I can't always look on the downside of things, can I?
No, I didn't think you would.
I can't allow myself to be affected by a couple of slack periods, can I?
What, so you mean...
Yes, Gary, I think if we had you working in the bar, that would give you, Caroline, more time to work in the kitchen as well. Yes, I think we can accommodate you.
Oh, great.
Alan, she said almost.
I beg your pardon?
Kathy, she said she would almost be willing to work for nothing, not actually work for nothing.
How much longer?
It's not worth getting upset about, Rachel.
Sarah's right. Just forget it.
How can I when my name and photos all over the paper like this?
It's just rubbish, Rachel.
Exactly. There's only one thing to do with rubbish like that.
It won't stop other folk reading it, though, will it, and talking about me behind my back?
What you've got to remember, young lady, is that everybody in this family, on this farm and in the village are behind you. And that's what's important, not nonsense like that.
Hi. What's going on?
Been another one of those articles about Rachel.
Well, about you and Rachel, really.
So it's just an excuse to write about Pete Whiteley again, dig over the same ground.
Well, I don't understand what's Pete Whiteley got to do with me and Rachel.
Nothing, Michael. Like Annie said, it's just an excuse for them to dish the dirt on me again.
They never said anything about Pete Whiteley when he spoke to me.
What?
Well, just a couple of questions about Rachel and me, that's all they said when they phoned up.
Set off yet?
I've only just finished fixing that fuel line.
But I thought the warehouse shuts at 6.
I could pick up the load any time before 10.
What time are you due in Southampton?
If I get off straight after supper, I shouldn't be too late.
Supper? You haven't got time to go back for supper.
I've got to eat, Dad.
Chris, it's a 6-hour run, and that's without hold-ups.
I know. That's why I'd like some supper first.
So get something on the way. Eat it in the cab.
What?
I don't know what's wrong with you, youngsters. When I was your age, I ate most of my meals on the move.
When you were my age, you had 3 ulcers. Excuse me.
Right. Sit back.
Okay, Joe.
It's all right, Mark. Just a little flame.
As Guy Fawkes once said.
Ooh. There we are. That is what the French say, putting the final touches to the meal.
It was called burning in my day.
You wait till you taste it. In fact, wait till you all taste it. Shall we get Rachel down?
I think she's probably had enough fireworks for one day.
What do you reckon she's doing up there?
Well, I think I should leave Rachel and Michael well alone.
Mark,
Ma's right, Joe. Are we actually going to eat that or just watch it cremate?
I just can't believe you didn't suspect anything.
Oh, as I've said, no, I didn't.
Not even when they rang up out of the blue like that.
Well, it wasn't just out of the blue, was it? It was just a few hours after I put that announcement in the Courier.
Yeah, which is another thing I knew nothing about.
Look, this reporter phoned up and just wanted a bit more information about our future plans.
And that didn't strike you as just a little bit odd?
I just thought I'd seen the announcement and wanted more information.
What for?
For an article.
Oh, Michael, we're not the Duke and Duchess of Beckindale. We're two perfectly simple people announcing a perfectly simple engagement.
Well, did you handle the press so well when they first came on to you, then?
No, but I've learnt to be a hell of a lot more careful since.
Look, I've explained what happened and I've apologised. What more can I do?
I just can't believe how stupid you were.
Well, I'm sorry I ain't got your vast experience of how to handle the press. Look, how many more times? It was a mistake, Rachel. And yeah, all right, a stupid mistake.
Oh, great. So I'm engaged to a man who makes stupid mistakes, then, am I?
What's that engagement going to do with it?
Well, how do you think it makes me feel about all this?
So what are you saying? Just because I make one mistake, you're having second thoughts? Look, Rachel, can't we just...
Maybe I am having second thoughts.
What?
It's very simple, Michael. Relationships are about trust. I obviously can't trust you, so there doesn't seem much point going on with the relationship, does there?
You ready, Alan?
Won't be a moment, Tony. Just instructing Kathy on the intricacies of the modern electronic till.
Been instructed enough for the last half hour.
These tills really aren't that complicated.
Right. Well, you're quite happy about the pumps.
Honestly, I'm perfectly capable. Please take him off to your meeting, would you, Tony?
Well, I just don't want you getting yourself in any difficult situations on your first night.
I hope. Here comes Cabaret.
I'll handle it.
Alan, I am the barmaid, aren't I? So I serve the customers. Good evening, Chris. What can I get you?
Just a couple of packets of crisps, please. And I need to use the phone.
Nothing to drink?
No, I'm driving. Well, half of that LA stuff.
Sure. Like I said, Alan, I'm perfectly capable.
I was going to apologise for coming early, but I'm glad I came now. So, Mrs. Hester, don't you like it?
It's just a bit rich for my taste, I'm afraid.
Does that mean you won't be wanting that, then?
Archie.
Well, it seems a shame to go to waste, doesn't it? I'll have it.
Your cooking is quite a hit, Joe. I think you better do it again tomorrow.
No. Tomorrow's Jack's turn.
You what?
Yeah, that's only fair.
What, you mean you've lost interest after just one day?
You know we're all supposed to be lending a hand till Ma gets back to full strength.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've done my turn. The way I see it, tomorrow's yours.
Yep, sounds fair to me too, Jack.
Oh, come on. You know what I'm like in cooking. I'm about as skillful with the saucepan as Sooty.
Well, Joe's still right. In a time of crisis, everyone lends a hand.
Anyway, I can't tomorrow. I've got that machinery demonstration over in Skipdale.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not letting Mark near the stove. And if it's left to Rachel, we'll have lentils and nut cutlets and soya beans. So who else is there?
Ah.
Oh, no.
Oh, now that is an idea.
But I can't cook either.
Oh, come on, Sarah. I can still remember that honey glazed pork you cooked for us that time.
You know perfectly well I can only cook 2 recipes. One's honey glazed pork and the other isn't.
Fine. If you ask me, honey glazed pork will go down a treat tomorrow night.
You said it yourself, Sarah. In times of crisis, everyone really should lend a hand.
You eating out tonight, then?
I've got a load to deliver to Southampton. Ladies' fashions.
Kim mentioned something about you doing a long run.
Well, it's getting longer by the minute as well. I was hours late getting away because of a dodgy fuel line. Missed supper, then I remember this lunch meeting I hadn't cancelled, so I had to phone him. At this rate, I'll be lucky to manage Leeds by dawn, let alone the South Coast. Is our conversation particularly interesting, Kathy? He's like one of those women that used to knit at executions. Perhaps we should give him what he wants. I could start throwing things around, stage some kind of scene.
I think we've both had enough of those, don't you, Chris?
See ya.
Archie's finished everything, including the ratatouille, I'm afraid. Any vegetarian requests? I got the short straw for tomorrow. Has Michael gone? Rachel, I don't want to interfere, but it wasn't completely his fault, you know. These journalists can be reptiles.
Yeah, well, it won't happen again.
Well, I suppose Michael will be more careful what he says in the future.
What I mean is, they won't ask Michael about the engagement. We're not engaged anymore.
Just because of that article?
You're as bad as Michael. Don't you see that these things are upsetting?
Well, you don't look very upset, Rachel.
What?
To tell you the truth, you look rather relieved, actually.
What are you talking about?
Rachel, if you and Michael want to get married or stay single, that's your business. But if you're really intent on breaking up with him, at least you can be honest about why.
Sorry I'm late, Henry. There's a little bit of business to attend to.
Well, we couldn't have got started any sooner, any road. Still trying to prize Archie away from the leftovers.
Archie?
What?
I'm just surprised to see you here, that's all, Archie.
Frankly, I was amazed.
What's that supposed to mean, Turnip?
Just that I didn't think it would be your sort of thing, that's all, Archie.
Well, perhaps I should remind everybody that the point of a committee like this is to provide a cross-section of village life and opinion.
Which means that the young are in on it as well as the not so young.
Yeah, because we've got a lot to contribute to something like this.
Yes, I'm sure you have, Archie. Right, to business. Dolly sends her apologies.
Oh, is she all right?
I was just having a bit of trouble getting Sam to bed.
Right, I'll get ball rolling then, shall I?
What?
I suggest that we twin with... a minute. Pistorki.
Where?
Pistorki.
Where on earth is that?
It sounds like Siberia to me.
It's in Poland.
Poland?
Yeah, I was reading about it in Dentist. It's poorest village in eastern Poland, right? They've got no water, no electricity, and they have to live in huts.
And you reckon that Beckendale should twin with a collection of huts, do you, Archie?
It's a gesture of solidarity with an oppressed people, Frank.
I'd prefer somewhere closer to home myself.
I agree.
In fact, I do know this charming little village in France. The scenery is very similar to Beckendale. It's just on the edge of the Dordogne.
Near a vineyard, is it?
Well, yes, wine is the staple industry.
Yeah, I thought so. So we're going from a gesture of solidarity with an oppressed people to supping with the oppressors.
Actually, I was thinking a little further afield.
I must admit, so was I.
Denmark, I thought.
Oh.
Yes, there's this little town I know, just inland from the coast, with a very similar climate to ours.
And similar business interests to yours, Frank.
What?
Yeah. Didn't you mention something about large contractor in Denmark to Alan and me at the fete?
Who you'd like to do business with?
Look, if you think that I'm going to...
All right. Let's get back to square one, shall we? Now, we've all got quite a lot to do before we actually decide on a twin.
Which won't be in eastern Poland.
Alan?
What's wrong with Poland?
Archie!
No, Henry's quite right. There's a lot to do before we fix all that.
Oh, thank you, Frank.
Like deciding on a name, for example.
A name?
For our committee.
Ah, now that's a very good point.
No, what I was going to say was we have to decide what type of community we want to twin with first.
Something that'll look good on the letterhead, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, excuse me.
So that any community we approach will know we have to be taken seriously.
Sounds like a waste of money to me.
Not at all, Archie. After all, we're selling Beckendale.
Quite.
Oh, dear.
How about Beckendale Twinning Committee?
Sounds a bit ordinary, doesn't it?
We are ordinary.
Yes, I know, but well, don't we need something a bit more impressive than that?
A bit more long-winded, you mean?
How about Beckendale Unilateral...
Unilateral?
Unilateral Town Twinning Committee.
No. I know. Town Twinning Organisation Committee.
That's it, then. Beckendale Unilateral Town Twinning Organisation Committee.
Now, if that's out of the way, perhaps I can explain a little more why I think our twin village should be this place in Denmark.
You already know why, so you can line your pockets.
Nonsense.
I really don't see what's the matter with France.
Excuse me. Before we start taking suggestions for names of committees or any of that sort of thing, I think perhaps I ought to remind everybody the reason for this twinning lark in the first place.
You tell them, Henry.
Buttocks.
I beg your pardon?
Well, buttock, anyway.
Look, Tony, you may not agree with what I'm saying, but there's no need to be rude.
No, it's what it spells. The Beckendale Unilateral Town Twinning Organisation Committee. Oh, look, read the initials. Buttock.
All right. Let's start again, shall we?